Good morning, 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 everybody. I hope everybody's day is off to a great start. I'm thankful to be in the land of the living this morning. I'm thankful to be amongst the living this morning. I'm thankful that God woke me up this morning and gave me another chance. So for those of y'all who don't know who I am, I'm Grace Amber. I come on different platforms whenever God gives me a word to share. I come on and I share it with you. Really quick this morning, I want to talk to you from the topic of find your tribe. Find your tribe. What am I talking about today? Today, I am talking about how you get treated by people around you, right? Oftentimes, you will know if you have found your tribe based upon the way that you are treated. God never intended for us to come down here on this earth, right, and be loners and not be connected to anybody, not socialize with anybody, not have any type of relationships, not just talking about intimate, because there are people who God gives the gift of celibacy, who God gives the gift of contentment, who don't want those relationships with people, who are perfectly happy right by themselves. That is a gift from God. But I am talking about relationship, fellowship with people, being around people, socializing with people. God intended for us to do that when He put us here. He never intended for us to be islands, right? But here's what happens. A lot of times we get so connected to the people that we grew up with, the places that we grew up in, and the family that we are connected to and born into. We get so caught up and connected with them, right, that we can't ever go out into the world to meet other people. And what happens is many of our families, many of our cousins, the people that we grew up with, the people in our neighborhood, the people in our hometown, most time those are the ones who treat us bad. Why? Number one, the sin of familiarity. They've known us since we've been in diapers, right? So when God makes us new, they don't accept that. They remember who they grew up with. They remember when you used to steal. They remember when you used to do all the things that you used to do, right? But now God has made you a new creature, and you're still finding, right, that you're being mistreated by those around you. You still find that you are not happy in your relationships. God never intended for us to be abused physically, verbally, or emotionally. That was never the intention of God when He put us here. Now, there are going to always be people in this world who will do that if we are willing to accept it. And oftentimes, the only reason why we are willing to accept the abuse, the put downs, the being degraded, the having to fight all the time physically, always having to argue, always getting yelled at, many times the only reason why we are willing to accept that is because we have connections to these people. We have history with these people. We have history with this location. And so many of us are not willing to branch out from the old and get to the new so that we can find our tribe. You will know when you have found your tribe because of the way that you are treated. You will know when you are not in the midst of your tribe based upon the way that you are treated. If you are being beat on, if you are being cursed out, if you are being yelled at all the time, not all the time, now I'm not talking about if you're married and all that other stuff, but if you are being yelled at all the time, like, friends, relationships, intimate relationships, and I'm not even talking about marriages, I'm just talking about dating or situationships, as we might call it. If you're being yelled at all the time, if you're always having to defend yourself, if you're always being put down, if people never have anything nice to say about you, if people can accept your praises, but they can never give you a compliment and give you a praise, if you are getting that from the people around you, that is the number one sign that you are not in your tribe. And so God is saying to many of us, just like He said to Abraham, go to Genesis, the 12th chapter. The Lord has said to Abram, go from your country, your people, and your father's house to the land I will show you. I will make you into a great nation. When you're in your tribe, when you find your tribe, there you will be able to flourish. There you will be able to be fruitful and multiply, which God created us to do. Listen at what He said. He said, I will make you into a great nation. You, one person, I will make you into a great nation. In other words, you will be able to be fruitful and multiply because that is what you were created to do. And I will bless you. Verse 2. I will make you into a great nation, and I will bless you when you find your tribe, right? Which most likely will be in a different location than what you grew up in. Guess what? Not only will you be able to be fruitful and multiply, but you will be blessed by God. Let's keep going. I will make your name great. That means where you used to get treated like Cinderella in your family, where you used to be treated like David in your family. Remember the story about David, how I think it was a prophet that came and he was asking, said, there is somebody here, there's a king, or however he worded it, he said, there is someone special here. And then David's father called out everybody else and then just totally disregarded David. Finally, the man said, no, I've gone through all these sons, but there's another one. Is there another one? Oh, yeah, that's David out there while he's out there doing the dirty work. If your family treats you like that, that's how you used to be treated. But when you leave and you go and you find your tribe, guess what will happen? Your name will be made great. You will be able to be who God created you to be in the right environment around the right people, your tribe, right? And you will be a blessing. How can you be a blessing if you're constantly having to fight to defend your life? How can you be a blessing to somebody else if you're constantly having to be put down, if you're constantly being told everything that's wrong with you, if you're constantly being degraded, if you're constantly being used and abused? How are you going to bless somebody else when you need a big blessing yourself? How are you going to give to somebody else when you don't even have to give to yourself? But if you will leave what you're familiar with and do as God tells you to do and obey him and let him order your steps so that he can direct you to your tribe, well, guess what? When you get in that environment amongst those people, guess what? You will have enough. They will pour into you, and being that they will pour into you, then you will be able to pour into other people and be a blessing in the right place around the right people, right? Let's keep going. I will bless those who bless you. That's what we want. That's our heart's desire, is that when someone is good to us, guess what we want God to do? We want God to bless them. When our heart is good and pure and we have people who are good to us, it is our heart's desire for God to bless them because those people have been a blessing unto us. So guess what the scripture is saying? When you are obedient, you go to the right place around the right people. Guess what? God is going to bless those who bless you, and whoever curses you, he will curse. It says, and whoever curses you, I will curse. In other words, when you get around the right people, when you're in the right purpose, in the right environment, right? When you have found your tribe and you're being obedient and there are those who curse you, this is our heart's desire. Deep down is that God will curse them and deal with them. And he's going to do that anyway. But more importantly, if you will line up with him, here is what his word says. And you know that if God put it in his word, it is true, right? And all peoples on earth will be blessed through you. You will be able to flow in your purpose. There is a gift and a purpose that God is giving you. But how are you going to serve your gift and you over here fighting for your life? How are you going to serve your gift when 8 hours of the day, this woman or this man is telling you about how bad you look and how worthless you are, and they're beating on you and mistreating you? How are you going to serve your gift? But when you get in the right place, around the right people, in the right environment, guess what? You will be able to bless other people. And in serving your gift, all peoples on earth will be blessed throughout you. I want you to turn real quick with me to Acts, the 2nd chapter. This is the scripture or the chapter where they talked about the fellowship of the believers. You will know when you have found your tribe because there will be harmony, right? Let's go down and let's talk about really quick what it's like when you find your tribe. All those things I just told you about, yes, that's part of it. But there's more. Let me give you a picture of what it looks like when you get around your tribe, when you get around the people that God created you to be connected to, when you get in the environment that God has directed and ordered you to. Guess what this is going to look like when you get around your tribe? You're not going to be cursed out. You're not going to be abused, used, mistreated, beat on, cheated on, all those things. That's not your tribe. But when you get around your tribe, let's talk about this. Go down, Acts the 2nd chapter. Let's go down to the 44th verse, and it reads, all the believers, now these are believers, best believe that your tribe is going to consist of believers. That's what your tribe is going to consist of. The people who God has here for you, not to minister to, because you can minister to anybody, but your tribe that was put down here for you and you were made for them, they were made for you. You better believe they're going to be believers. And guess what's going to happen? This is what harmony and peace looks like when you get around your tribe. tribe. All the believers were together and had everything in common, equally yoked. Here we go. They sold property and possessions to give to anyone who had need. This is giving, being a blessing to other people, right? And this is in Acts, the story about Ananias and Sapphira, about what they did. If you don't know that story, go read it because it's interesting to me. I love that story too. So anyway, every day they continued to meet together in the temple courts. They go to church together. They fellowship together. They broke bread together. They broke bread in their homes and ate together with glad and sincere hearts, not busting each other upside the head with glass bottles, not jumping on each other and your house looks like a First 48 scene. I've been there. Not having your car, everything toe slammed to pieces and it looked like you've been in a war in Afghanistan right in your little car because you've been fighting to defend yourself or fighting because somebody done made you mad, right? They broke bread in their homes and ate together with glad and sincere hearts, praising God and enjoying the favor of all the people. And the Lord added to their number daily those who were being saved. One of the beautiful things about finding your tribe is that for the people who are still in those situations where they are being abused, neglected, mistreated, used, taken advantage of, beat on, cheated on, everything you can think of. For those people who are left in that situation, who are in that situation, who haven't found their tribe, when you have found your tribe and people see what it's like, that there is actually life here on earth in relationship and connection with other people without being treated that way, it shows people who are in those toxic, dysfunctional tribes and relationships, it shows them what life can be like. And by you going to go find your tribe and you flourishing, it sets an example and it allows you to be a model for those who are still in those dysfunctional relationships. They see with their eyes that there can be good living here on earth. They see with their eyes that there are people here who are not here just to beat and cheat on you. They see with their eyes that life can be good here if you will be obedient and find your tribe. I love you. I'm Grace Amber. Happy Wednesday. I will be right back on tomorrow with another word.